The academy courtyard gleamed under twin suns, its white stone glistening like bone. Around the training ring, cadets of the Unified Species Program stood shoulder to shoulder. Humans, reptilians, avians, and the massive fur-clad predators of Core. They were learning to coexist. Or trying to. In the center of the ring stood Lieutenant Mara Ellen, human instructor, posture straight, expression calm. Her voice carried easily across the field. "We train together," she said, "because peace isn't signed, it's practiced." The cadets murmured. None dared interrupt until the low, rumbling growls split the silence. From the Quran side, a young predator cub stepped forward. His silver mane bristled, claws half extended, fangs bared. He was barely adolescent, maybe 14 in human years, but already taller than most recruits. "Peace," he spat, his common tongue guttural and rough. "You say that while your kind still keeps trophies of ours on your ships." The ring went deathly still. Humans stiffened. The Charon elders at the edge growled softly in warning. Mara didn't move. "Your name, cadet?" The cub's tail lashed. "Racker, son of Varash." "Racker," she said evenly. "This is training, not history debate." He stepped closer, muscles bunching. "Then teach me as you teach prey." The air thickened with tension. Several cadets reached for stunners. Then, without hesitation, Mara did something none expected. She bared her teeth, squared her shoulders, and snarled right back. It wasn't mimicry. It was perfect. Tone, pitch, posture. So accurate that even the elder Qurans blinked. The cub froze mid-snarl. Then Mara laughed. A warm, bright sound that cracked through the tension like lightning. "Better," she said lightly. "But your stance is off." The silence shattered into stunned murmurs. The beginning. Hours later, the training ring had emptied. Only Mara and the cub remained. Racker sat cross-legged on the ground, glaring at the dirt. "You mocked me." Mara crouched beside him. "I honored you." In Quran culture, a snarl can be a challenge or a greeting. "You challenged me," I replied in kind. He huffed. "No human should know our tongue of fury." She smiled faintly. "Your people saved my life once. The least I could do is learn to speak properly." That caught his attention. His ears flicked. "Saved you?" "During the siege of Kestrin," she said. "My ship went down in Quran territory. Your father's battalion found me. He could have torn me apart, but he didn't. Instead, he carried me out of the fire." Racker blinked. "You knew my father?" "Varash the Guardian," she said softly. "He was the bravest being I ever met." The cub's eyes softened, pride warring with sorrow. "He died in the last defense." "I know," Mara said quietly. "And he'd be proud you're here." Racker looked away. "Then teach me human." The middle. Weeks passed. Word of the snarling instructor spread across the academy. Some laughed. Others whispered that she'd broken protocol. But the Quran cadets began showing up early, eager for her lessons. Mara taught them how to temper instinct with discipline, how to fight without losing control. And they, in turn, taught her to read the subtle rhythms of the pack, the flick of an ear, the meaning of silence. Racker became her shadow. He followed her to the firing range, the strategy halls, the simulation domes. He learned quickly, fiercely. But one lesson remained: trust. One afternoon, during a zero-gravity exercise, Racker misjudged a spin and collided with a human cadet. The boy's arm snapped, and chaos erupted. "Monster!" someone shouted. Before Mara could speak, for humans raised their stun rods. Racker's eyes went wide. "I didn't mean..." They fired. Mara stepped between them, taking the full shock herself. The surge knocked her backward, electricity crackling across her armor. When the light faded, she stood, breathing hard, jaw tight, and glared at the humans. "You'll stand down," she said, voice low and cold. "No one attacks my cadets." They obeyed, not because she outranked them, but because her fury burned like command fire. Rocker rushed to her side. "Why protect me? I could have hurt him." Mara managed a weak smile. "Because you didn't. Intent matters." Something changed in Racker's gaze then, respect, sharp and sudden. From that day on, his loyalty to her was absolute. The rift. Peace never lasts. The Academy sat on a fragile treaty world, and war had a way of remembering old habits. When the Human Directorate accused the Korans of sabotaging a defense satellite, hostilities reignited overnight. The order came swift. All Koran cadets are to be detained pending investigation. Mara read the command with disbelief. "They're children," she said. "You can't." Orders from High Command. Her superior snapped. "You'll supervise the transfer." She saluted tightly, walked out, and tore the insignia from her shoulder the moment the door shut. That night, the dormitories shook with shouts as armed guards marched in. Rocker stood at the front of his group, teeth bared, ready to fight. Mara appeared before he could move. "Don't," she whispered. "They'll kill you." He met her eyes. "They already did, when they took your honor." Mara pressed something into his paw, a small metal chip, glowing faintly. "Keep this. When it turns blue, run east to the old landing pads. I'll find you." Then she turned to the guards and said loud enough for all to hear, "He's sedated. I'll escort him personally." It was a lie. But in war, survival begins with a good lie. The escape. Night swallowed the Academy. Alarms blared in the distance as Mara guided Rocker through maintenance tunnels. His claws clacked softly against the steel. "Why help me?" he asked. "You'll be branded a traitor." She gave a dry laugh. "I already am." They emerged beneath the landing pads, empty now, save for one battered shuttle hidden under camouflage netting. Rocker's nose twitched. "You planned this." "I plan everything," she said with a grin. "Now move." They reached the ramp just as floodlights ignited behind them. Shouts. Boots. Gunfire. Rocker turned, growling, but Mara shoved him inside. "No heroics. Go." She hit the control pad, sealing the hatch. A bolt grazed her shoulder. Pain flared, but she didn't stop. The shuttle engines roared, rising through smoke and chaos. As they broke the atmosphere, Rocker looked at her bloodied arm. "You're hurt." She smiled through the pain. "You should see the other guy." He gave a rumbling laugh, half growl, half purr, the first she'd ever heard from him. The truth. They flew for days, hiding among asteroid belts and dead stations. The chip she'd given him stored stolen evidence, proof that humans, not Korans, had sabotaged the satellite to justify war. When he realized this, Rocker stared at her. "You risked everything for truth?" "For peace," she said. "Truth is just the first weapon. But peace is costly." The Directorate tracked their trail and cornered them near the scarred moon of Datis. Their ship shuddered under fire. Mara sent a distress ping to neutral space, then turned to him. "If we don't make it, promise me you'll live. Tell them what happened." He growled. "We fight together." "Not this time." She pushed a data core into his hands. "Your voice will carry farther than mine." He looked at her, realization dawning. "You knew this was one way." She smiled faintly, eyes soft. "Your father said courage isn't the absence of fear. It's choosing who you fight for." The shuttle rocked violently. Mara sealed him in an escape pod and slammed the release. He screamed her name as the pod shot into the void, tumbling.